Okay, I'm going to get back with you right now because, just want you to know that I'm glad that you're happy that you think that you're, catching me 4 times, on this point, because just between you and me, okay, I wasn't there when you captured me. I wasn't, I was not the victim of it. Um, now it's like take this bigger, broader picture of your comprehension of the monetary system and the money system and the economy. And I've already tried to explain to you, okay, that the economy is built on the financial system, which is built on the money system. And that's the foundation issue. I don't think you're ever going to realize it. That's okay. That's okay. You're passionate about, that part of it up on the economic system where you get into tax and fiscal policy. That's where you are, out there in the hinterlands. And I'm getting a little tired of trying to educate you too. But having said that, um, why, for God's sake, are you attacking unions earning wages and earning an annuity, earning a savings plan? Or taking their money, and that they earn and directing it towards their pension plan, so that they can earn money on it when somebody's going to take that money and use it. And I've been a union member, and I'm proud to say I've been a union member, and I'm proud for what the unions have done for me and what the unions have done for the average workers in this country. And you, every once in a while, you profess to be in favor of the workers, and labor, and yet here you are attacking unions. Uh, you know, Carpenters, ironworkers, international glazers. Okay, I've been a member of all of those, and worked in all of those trades. Okay, and I just don't get where you think you're coming from. I just think that you should ignore, that part of it when you're trying to make any point about capitalism. I want to end capitalism and I want to end labor. Give me a break. Um, tell me something that tell me something that makes sense, because I'm just telling you that none of that stuff makes any sense to me. Okay, about legacy assets because a union guy is going to earn money and put it in the bank, and now what happens to his bank account at the end of the year? Okay, um, so I'm trying to tell you that however I get to the point of getting up there into the economy and agreeing with you about the fact that those legacy assets ought to be forwarded untaxed and in the diminished sense is far removed from that discussion. Now another discussion. God, Gary, the Federal Reserve banking system is who creates the money. Okay, the government does not create the money. If the government created the money, I wouldn't be here. In case you haven't been listening, I'm in favor of the government creating the money. I want the government to create the money. Not only do I want the government to create the money, I want them to create it debt free, without any debts. Okay? And you keep saying about, well, now the government's creating the money cheaply, and we need to it would be a problem because they don't collect interest on it. Right? The government does not create the money. Okay, the private Federal Reserve bankers create the money. They are not part of the government. In case you haven't noticed, if you think they're part of the government, which part? Okay, if you think any of the member banks of the Federal Reserve System, all of which are private corporations, none of which work for the government, are part of the government, tell me which ones are and which part of the government. If you think any of the regional Federal Reserve banks that are spread throughout this country as quote central bank components are part of the federal government, tell me which of those Federal Reserve banks are part of the government and which part of the government they're under. Okay? Tell me that. And if you think any of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors are part of the government, if you think the government is paying any of those guys, tell me which ones. So your understanding of the monetary system is so flawed, okay, that it's incredible. It's just incredible. And you know, your way of thinking about things, it stems from a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of lack of understandings. And because of that, we're not having a rational conversation. And this will be my last video that I'll post until you say something that makes any sense. Now, when I said, okay, about with full reserve banking and fractional reserve banking, the same amount of money is going to be in existence, and you're telling me that with the same amount of money being in existence, there's going to be pressure to increase interest rates because one of them came into existence debt-free? Why? If you really understand how supply and demand works, okay, we've just created a surplus of money, debt-free money. That is to say, we've created money that doesn't command any of those interest coupons. And by the way, you keep talking about the interest, and maybe that's why I keep going back and to you, okay? Maybe that's why, because you're right about that, okay? It's the interest. You know, the interest is the problem. So here I am advocating interest-free money. Debt-free money is interest-free money, right? Here I am advocating it. Here I am taking it from a long history. I go back to the colonies. I go back to the Constitutional Congress. I go back to the greenbacks. I go back to the advocacy of renowned economists proposing debt-free money as the solution to the crash that robs the average worker not only of his wealth, but of his job, of his dignity, of all of that stuff. Here I am advocating that using a totally historic reference, and you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. You know? So, if you want to call up your friendly Federal Reserve banker and ask him what part of the government he's under, do it. And tell me, okay, why you are defending the system that establishes, manifests, maintains, prolongs the exact system that you're against. I have no idea. I have no idea. But to me, it's because of your ignorance, okay? Because of your ignorance of how money works, okay? Your total ignorance about how money works. I got a minute or two about whether or not the banks create the money on the spot. Do I need to like pull out 100 quotes about that's what banks do? They create money on the spot? You know, some bankers don't even know that. I've known bankers who say, well, you guys create the money on the spot. Oh, no, we don't. Our books always balance. Yeah, they balance by virtue of those the paperage over it. Promissory note, creating of the deposit. So their books balance. But banks create money when they make loans. That's what they do. They create money. Okay? The bank that creates a loan today, the balance sheet of that bank is increased by the amount of that loan. At the end of the day, that's money. That's what money is, Gary. And again, you really should take a little bit of time and maybe not reply to this video and instead, you know, figure out what money is. And good luck.